Prof, simulan na natin doon sa pinag-uusapan namin kanina ni na Jovi at saka ni Chiki. Paano ba natin dapat basahin tong diskarte bang matatawag ng mga Duterte? Kasi nga parang nakakalimutan natin yung totoong kaso eh.
Oo, ang pinag-uusapan tuloy natin, family dynamics.
May lumabas pang picture. Magkakasama yung apat na magkakapatid.
Halata mo talaga scripted. Merong nagdidirehe. Gusto nilang alisin. Tama kayo, gusto nilang alisin ang focus dun sa kaso. At kung nila mag-focus sa pamilya nga nagkakaisa, at the same time may intriga, nagbabangayan, naghihiwalayan. In fact, yung kanilang mga supporters, ganoon din. Ang mga pro-Duterte vloggers, nag-aaway din sila, hati din. So, they are creating noise. The question is, will it work? Because you have to understand that in the case of the Philippines, we might be influenced, but the ICC is not influenced by that. The court that is going to decide is the International Criminal Court, and they don't simply give a care about those dramatics. Yun yung point.
So kung alam naman ng lahat, Prof, no, na yun nga, the ICC doesn't give a care, sabi mo, about all these dramatics, bakit pa nila gagawin ito?
Because the audience is back here. You have to understand that Sara Duterte has an impeachment case to face. So, and they want to also win.
There's 2020. Also, there's 2028.
And there's also 2028. They want to keep, alam mo naman, hindi naman, maaaring sa isang punto, merong pananaw na maaaring ginagamit na nilang props na lang ang tatay nila to advance their own political interests. That, he's going to be a good display, a good exhibit, a good point to rally around to create a narrative here back home.
Oo.
Diba?
So,
yun yung gagamitin nila. They don't really... Sa tingin ko, mas maganda pa nga sa kanila, may mangyari sa tatay nila eh.
What do you mean? Mas maganda sila in terms of their sa political career?
Yeah, of course you could just imagine what would be the effect if, for example, God forbid, the former president something happen to him in jail, or his health gives way, gives up. It's going to be dramatics, optics.
Yeah, because may mga, let's face it, meron tayong mga kababayan na na may epekto sa kanila ang ang kapag ka merong nawala sa isang
emotions,
ito yung
Pinoy.
Parang parang Cory Pinoy.
Parang I think the father also knows that. The father he would be willing to sacrifice himself for that. If only to advance the career of the family. The family will have to survive. Kasi you have to understand, ang optics kasi pinag-usapan, Duterte is still a viable brand. Maybe the reason why they're doing this is because they know they are in trouble. Kasi alam naman nila na, tingnan mo na lang, 80% of the Filipinos, based on the Okta Research survey, said that they would like for the impeachment to proceed. Kung titingnan mo doong huling eleksyon, kasi may narrative na yung huling eleksyon nagtagumpay ang mga Duterte, hindi yan totoo sapagkat alam naman natin na marami sa kanilang mga kandidato sa pagkasenador ang natalo. At yung mga nanalo sila not just because of the Duterte. Isa-isahin natin, si Bongo is because of malasakit centers.
Yes.
Si De La Rosa nanalo because of name recall. Si Marcoleta is because of, Iglesia ni Cristo. So, and Amy Marcos won because of the Ilocos vote. So, the Duterte, and knowing that ngayon, nasa scrutiny sila, magastos ang kanilang depensa. Magkano ba binabayad Kaufman? Ilang milyon ba buwan-buwan? Tapos dito, meron din siyempre abogado na magdidepensa din kay Sara. So, alam mo, ang kampanya dito sa Pilipinas, pera ang umiikot. So, maaaring naubusan na rin sila ng pera. By 2026 na nga lang, mag-iiba na ang dynamics ng politika eh. Iniisip na ng mga tao mismo, yung mga alyansa ngayon, tinitingnan na niya, ano gagawin nila for 2028.
So, you're saying, Prof, na hindi na rin ganun ka-influential ang pangalang Duterte?
Maybe it's not as influential as before. It's not as potent as before. Kasi, alalahanin mo, marami na din gusto maging presidente sa 2028. Alalahanin mo, at marami dyan ikakampi din nila. So, hindi yun, in fact, the people who say that, Sara is a shoe-in for 2028, maybe misreading the political You know, you have to understand, Gen Z, mga bagong butante, maraming surprises. Yung midterm election, di ba? Hindi natin inaasahan. Baka mas malaki pang mga surprises ang dadating sa 2028. So, masyado pa malayo yan. So, I think the reason why the Dutertes are doing this is because they want to, you know, kaya pang-priming ng pangalan nila. Gusto nilang ma-boost. Kung baga sa booster. Pag-usapan, mag-create ng drama, you know, mag-create ng sympathy. Kasi sa totoo lang, politically, ang alyansa nila kakaunti eh. Kung titingnan mo yung political class pagdating sa Congress, sa Senate, ilan lang ba ang kanilang kaalyado talagang tunay? Ang maingay lang naman ng social media supporters nila.
Pero, Prof, ano yung tingin ninyo? Paano kaya makakaapekto ito ang mukhang yung ingay ng away nila? For example, yung nangyari kay Attorney Harry Roque na out of the blue na, mukhang hindi pala sila okay ni na Attorney Kaufman. Meron palang issue sa pagitan nila. Yung mga ganitong klase ng...
Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo, paano ba makakabuild ng simpatya ang nag-aaway-away ang magkakampi mo?
Yeah.
Psychology, pag-usapan natin ng political psychology, paano magkakaroon ng simpatya? Pareho naman kakampi mo nag-aaway. You know, even in ordinary, you know, it could even backfire and say na ano ba yan, di sila nagkakaisa. So, I think that's if that is a strategy to call attention, to divert, then it's a wrong strategy. Kasi ang lumalabas ngayon, parang nag-implode yung kampo nila.
Pero hindi, Prof, Prof. Toton, hindi kaya pwede rin tingnan na baka naman yung inaasinta nila dito sa kanilang strategy ay yung mga outliers. Yung mga hindi naman nasa direktang makaka-apekto sa pamilya Duterte. Kaya the likes of Harry Roque and Honilet pwedeng maging mukhang sila yung kaaway pero basta solid. Tulad ng pagpapakita ng magkakapatid ng kanilang unity by showing together in one picture.
Yun, yung apat na ando sa isang picture habang yung nanay ni Kitty ay in-echa puwera doon sa The Hague. You know, these are all too contrived, di ba? Na parang ibang-iba na kasi ng panahon eh. Mabilis ang social media, mabilis ang narratives, mabilis mapuna ang mga halatang dapat punahin, ng mga scripted. Dati-rati kung wala pang social media, they could really, you know, get away with this. But now, ang daming diskurso, ang daming nagsasalita. Ngayon, pinag-uusapan natin at nanganganak yan. So, hindi mo na madaling bilogin ang ulo ng mga tao.
Okay. Sir, punta naman ako dun sa impeachment ni VP Sara. No? Kanina, nag-file na ng motion yung House para kontrahin yung... Apela, kumbaga, yung naging decision ng Korte Suprema. Ano po bang tingin ninyo dito? May chance pa ba?
Add ko lang ba, Sena, at talagang yung House leadership mismo ang may pa-video pa to say na tuloy yung kanilang
ayun pa pala.
Well, dalawang bagay kasi yan eh. Dalawang actor dito na pwedeng mag-allow ng process to move. Of course, there is the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court will reverse, that's one thing. The other thing is that if the Senate will moot the process by dismissing on the Wednesday. Kasi, di ba, mayroon din silang aksyon ngayon na parang gusto ng mga senador, sabi ni Senator Estrada, ay 20 na daw sila na gusto nang i-dismiss, sumunod na sa Supreme Court. Ngayon, although the conventional wisdom is dapat mag-defer, gamitan ng prudence ng Senado na huwag muna silang mag-akintay nila ang motion for reconsideration madesisyonan. Total, ang pinunan naman ng Supreme Court ay ang House. Ang House naman ang naggawa ng pagkilos na sinopla ng Supreme Court. So, di ba dapat by nature, dapat i-defer mo, pag-usapan mo na yan. But the Senate can very well undermine everything by just saying, dismiss na yan. So that the court, ano pang decision ng court kung mismo ang Senado nag-dismiss. So I think the filing of the MR is crucial because it also puts spotlight on the Senate. Kasi tingnan niya, meron ka ng MR, ba't magdidesisyon ka sa Wednesday? So parang game din yan eh. Meron motion for reconsideration. Hintayin niyo muna mag-desisyon. Ba't ba kayo atat? Nung time na forthwith, hindi kayo nag-forthwith. Kayo naman gusto nyo forthwith. Hindi ba? mas nahalata. So we are really this is really Game of Thrones. This is the three-dimensional jiu-jitsu. Politically, you see a lot of moving parts.
Prof, kung mas maingay ang public clamor para dito sa impeachment ni VP Sara na ituloy nyo na yan, talagang may public clamor na ganyan, at mas maingay pa, mai-impluwensyahan po ba ang desisyon, for example, ng Korte Suprema on the motion for reconsideration o yung mga desisyon dun sa Senado?
Actually, objectively, if the Supreme Court does not reverse, I think that the Supreme Court can be damaged. Kasi klaro naman talaga na yung naging isa sa mga basihan ng kanilang desisyon is not factual. Yung sequence ng fact na nagbutuhan muna to transmit and sa sila in-archive yung tatlo. Di ba? Yun parang mali. Kahit sinong tanongin mo doon, parang mali yun. And that's factual inaccuracy. So doon, I do believe that, we'll see. Kasi kung rational ang Supreme Court, and this is not the first time that they will reverse themselves. Ngayon nga lang, reverse pa lang nila, di ba? Ng sarili nila. So they have reversed in the past. So I think this is something that not because they are bowing to the wills of the people. It's just because I think they're going to do something right. They're going to right a wrong, a factual inaccuracy in the decision, di ba? But they might not reverse. So we'll see. So that's one thing. The other thing is that will the Senate heed prudence and not act for will in terms of dismissing the case on Wednesday? We'll see.
When you said earlier, Prof, na damaged, ano pong ibig niyo sabihin?
You see, the problem here right now is that people talk. Ang diskurso ngayon very open. Mabilis ang social media. So, dati ang tingin natin sa Korte Suprema, the gods of Padre Faura. They are in Olympus. Now, hindi na ganun. Madali ng pag-usapan, madali nang nawawala na yung, sa ano yung mismong tao nagdududa na rin sa Korte Suprema. And so, I think they have to do something to reinstate the fairness that people would like to, put on them. Maraming tao nagsasabi ang political branches, wala kang maasahan, pero sa Korte Suprema na lang ang ating last bulwark of democracy, Pero ngayon, pag yan ay na-erode pa, di wala na. So I think this is, I think that's an important factor, in this impeachment of Sara Duterte, this is something that is quite interesting because in the past, nung in-impeach si Renato Corona, si Erap Estrada, they're the ones that are in trial, right? Pero ngayon, marami na on trial eh. Senado is on trial. The Supreme Court is also on trial. So, nag-spread yung stain. Okay? Kumalat. Kaya yun ang medyo nakakabahala. At dapat, kung meron dapat dito institusyon na dapat mag-restore ng confidence, ng trust ng tao sa political process, at saka sa justice, at saka sa fairness, ito ang Supreme Court. Kaya inaasahan ko na Supreme Court will do what's right. Otherwise, if it's not going to do what's right, then we're all in trouble politically.
Okay. Prof, marami pong salamat. Juicy tong topic natin. I'm sure uulitin natin to soon kasi developing story Prof? Marami pong salamat for joining us this evening.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Prof.